A number of people crossing different political boundaries, and so you're very, very welcome, all of you. It's a very special evening this evening, and I want to take note, and there are a few people that I want to recognize here. We have our president of the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario here this evening, and he will be addressing you later. That's Richard Chan. Where are you, Richard? Right here. Oh, there you are. We have the regional councillor and deputy mayor of Newmarket, John Taylor, here as well. We have John Abel, the councillor in Aurora, is here. Where's John? And we have Calvin Brown, who's representing Lois Brown here this evening as well. Where's I'm sure I will in some people, but we have a number of people who have been on council, and you're all very welcome. You're all very special to us. The evening is going to flow very quickly, I think, for everyone, and my speech is only going to be 45 minutes in length. I think that would get an applause. In any event, what's going to happen this evening is that we will be hearing from myself, and we'll be hearing from Frank, and we'll be hearing from Jane, and then Richard, and then our president, Derek Murray. Yes, Derek Murray. So I'd like to thank also my nominating committee this evening, who is Larry Smith and Derek Murray, our president, for their work in this process. I also want to thank Malik Smith for doing the traffic control outside, because you note that if you had to get in here, you needed to have a traffic control specialist. And I also want to thank the people, Neve and Suzanne and Jacqueline, for their work in greeting people as well at the front of the, there you are, Jeff. They're the people that make things run for Frank, so thank them very much. I also want to report to you that the nomination committee was very active, that we did the research and reached out to candidates all over the riding of Newmarket, Aurora. And we interviewed a number of those candidates for this nomination process. And as a result, we ended up with the cream of the crop. And that's what was going to be introduced this evening. So I want to thank them for all the work that they have done. 20 years ago, I was privileged to be at a place not very far from here at another acclamation. And this was for Frank Cleese when he was acclaimed the candidate for York Mackenzie. And it was the launch of a very, very interesting and really great political career. He became the third vice president of our party. He actually changed the constitution of our party to include in it a resolution that allowed the grassroots of the party to be able to be involved in the development of policy. So the grassroots of our party is involved in the policy process for the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario. It's the only jurisdiction in North America that has that. So it's a monumental achievement, and something that continues today, and with the 13 white papers, I think it's the 13 white papers, that has been vetted and built through the process of these policy advisory councils that Frank helped to build. But that wasn't all that was in his career. He was elected as the member from York Mackenzie. He became a parliamentary secretary in a number of portfolios. He became a cabinet minister in a number of portfolios. He was a candidate for our leadership twice and finished very close on the second attempt that he had. He has had a major role as a critic in terms of holding accountable this liberal government that we have in files like the gas plant debacle, the e-health debacle, the orange file, and on and on and on. And he has been one of the people who has been prominent in holding this government accountable. So he has had a major impact as a politician from this riding of Newmarket Aurora. One of the most important things, I think, as his legacy is not just what he has accomplished as a leader and as a person down at Queen's Park, but it is what he has done in the riding. As a member of provincial parliament, he and his staff are often the very last place that people in this riding can turn to for help. And he helps them. And in our campaigns, it's often said, the slogan is, Frank gets things done, and he does. And he is one of, I know most of the politicians are across the board, and there's no one that works harder for the constituents of this riding. It means more to the constituents of this riding. And I think if there's a lasting legacy, it is that legacy of hope and for the people that need it the most in this riding. He's been responsible for the cancer, contributing to make sure that the cancer unit and the health unit at South Lake was put into place. These are achievements on a local level that make a difference in the riding. And so, a few years ago, actually a number of years ago now, I met Jane Twinney for the very first time. And it was at a bereavement association fundraiser. And it wasn't because she had a situation of bereavement. It was there because she was there because she cared about the people that had that situation. She cared enough to be there to help raise funds for their association. And she has had a career in terms of being a member of our party and being on our executive and working in 2 elections for Frank, to elect Frank. And she's also become herself involved in municipal politics and becoming a local politician in the town of Newmarket. So she has done amazingly well. And when I look at the mantle of being passed from one person to another of someone that really cares about the community and really cares about what's happening to the constituents of this riding, she is a person that can do it. And she is someone that is going to be able to draw together conservatives and liberals, because that's who we need. It's a big house. We need a big tent to do that. I am very, very happy to introduce the nomination, the person that's going to nominate Jane this evening, Diane Woods. And is Mike Smith here? Oh, there's Mike. I'm Mike Smith, and I would like Mike, if you would come up after Diane comes up to do the nomination. So I'd like to introduce to you Diane Woods.
I'm Diane Wood, and I'm a mother of 8 children, and I live in the Ward 3 where Jane has been serving for nearly 4 years now. And I'm thrilled today to nominate Jane as our official candidate for the Newmarket Aurora for the Ontario PC Party. I don't know Jane personally. I know her as my counselor. So I found her to be very dedicated. As a matter of fact, I found, just as Bob was mentioning, she's involved with a lot of things. Everywhere I go in town, I see Jane. She would be involved, came out to the cadets program that I'm involved with, the Navy League cadets, and she was helping with reviewing the cadets. She's involved everywhere. She was running a chess club where I took a classroom group to. I found her to be very approachable and a very good listener. I've spoken to her many times over her time as our counselor, because I'm that type of mom. I want to make sure I have the right politicians in there that are taking care of our community, so I contact them and ask them questions. And she's a really good listener. She's knowledgeable and understanding. She knows everything that's going on in our community. Every time I've approached her, if I was upset about something, she's able to explain it and reassure me and help me be more informed about it so that I actually go away feeling much better. Her many talents have served her well on Newmarket Town Council, where I've seen her. She's really a true team player. She works hard to keep our ward informed of all the matters, makes herself very easy to reach by telephone, email, and the social media. She's right on top of anything. If you ask her a question, she just practically instantly is answering you back. She regularly in our ward runs excellent ward meetings that have become kind of like an event that we're all looking forward to going to. We socialize while we're there, or stay long after the meeting's over, talking with neighbors that you didn't know or you've met through the meetings. She has a very good newsletter that she sends out regularly, so we're on top of things. We know what's going on. When we had problems with garbage at Christmas time, she was right on top of it. I didn't even know we'd had problems until she informed us, and then I was like, oh, I was thinking about that, wondering about that. She keeps us really informed. I've had no doubt that Jane will make us all proud as she continues to serve us in this greater capacity. I know Jane has the character and the leadership skills that are needed in today's political world to be effective. I believe we're very fortunate that Jane wants to serve us in this capacity. And I have no doubt that Jane will be our next MPP for Newmarket Aurora. So I hope everybody here is willing to help us work hard and get her in there, because I know she'll do a great job. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Smith, and for those who don't know me, I'm fairly involved in our community with a number of organizations as well as charities. And I'm just going to move this down a little bit. I hate when it's in my face. And when I think about people who I want to lead in this area, when I say that, Newmarket Aurora, I think it's a great opportunity for anybody to do that. I'm going to strike that. I don't think it's an opportunity. I think it's a responsibility to help build a better Newmarket Aurora. And when I think of somebody who I want to lead us politically, I look for people who are not just going to lead us in legislation, but also lead us in the grassroots level. And that's why I'm thrilled to stand here tonight and second the nomination of Jane Twinney to be our member of provincial parliament candidate for the next election, because she understands the importance of community engagement. And I have to echo Diane and Bob's comments, and I know that she's very, very involved. When I think of Jane Twinney, I think of someone who's engaged, who's someone who's intelligent, experienced, has grassroots grasp on things. And she understands the issues. She's very approachable. And Jane Twinney represents people, real families, and real life, as my kids say. When you see Jane in the community, when I see Jane in the community, it's either at the hockey rink or the baseball diamond or at the mall, and she's very easy to talk to. I find that she's a great listener as well. So you can clap for that. Now, I know that Jane is a Newmarket person per se, but I know that she has a greater community at heart. And she's in the past served on the board of the community living group in Newmarket, Aurora. She's also helping with project Women Building with Habitat for Humanity in the area. And when I think of somebody who I want to represent me and you in our community, I want somebody who's connected to our community, someone who's approachable, understands our local issues, and someone who also thinks of the big picture and is a relationship builder. Because I agree with Bob. I think you need somebody that's going to have to be able to work with a number of different parties, a number of different interests. I am going to tell you right now publicly, I am not blue, I am not red, I am not green. I want a strong community, and I think Jane's the person to get us there. So we need somebody who can bridge the gaps, build some relationships, and make us proud. Who do I want as an MPP? I want somebody I can approach at the farmer's market, at the hockey rink, to talk about something that's really important to me and my family. I want somebody who my neighbors can do the same thing. I want an MPP who loves our community as much as I do, and as much as you do. That's why you're here tonight. So I want somebody who can currently shows us that she can roll up her sleeves and get things done, has a history of making a difference in our community. And that's why I want Jane Twinney to be our next MPP. Thank you.
It's my great pleasure and honor to declare Jane Twinney as the acclaimed candidate for the next election for Newmarket Aurora for the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario. What's going to happen, just so you know the rest of the program here, is that there are 2 or 3 more speakers and who you'll love to hear. And the first one is my good friend, Frank Cleese.
Well, that's a relief. Jane, it's all yours. I love acclamations, you know. And what that means is that right out of the gate, we have a united party, and we have a team that has one goal, and that is to ensure that Jane Twinney is the next MPP for Newmarket Aurora. I said to someone coming in today that this is a very bittersweet evening for me. Folks, I want to thank you for the incredible privilege that I've had of serving you over the last 18 and a half years. It'll be 19 years in June. And I never dreamed that I would ever have the opportunity to sit in the legislature of this great province, to take my seat. Far less a dream that I would ever sit at a cabinet table and have the opportunity to provide leadership in that capacity in this province. And Jane, I just want to say to you that you'll never forget the first time you walk into that place knowing that you'll be sworn in as a member of the legislature. It was a moving time for me. I had my family there. I had my parents who were immigrants to this country, as you know, as I was. And there wasn't a dry eye in the place as I was sworn in. And the only reason that I was actually ever able to be in that position was not because of my highfalutin education. And it wasn't because of some high position that I happened to be born into. It was because I grew up in a family that believed in some fundamental values. And those values were that if you work hard and dedicate yourself and focus, and if you're willing to commit yourself and discipline yourself, then you have an opportunity to do whatever you dream that you want to do. But coupled with that was a country and a province that my parents chose to come to that would actually make that possible. And so tonight I want to celebrate, first of all, my parents who made that decision to come to this great country and this great province. I want to celebrate the values that they instilled in me and in our family. And I want to celebrate a political system that allows each and every person to participate and to have a say in the future of our communities and our province and our country. We have so much to be thankful for. And so when it came to the point where I realized that it was time to pass the torch on to someone else who has the energy and shares those same values, that it would have to be somebody of whom I could be proud of. And when I got the phone call from Jane that evening and she said, "Frank, I've been thinking about it. I've talked to Joe about it. And I'm thinking that I should run for the nomination." And she'll remember what I said. I said, "That's great news to me." And the reason it was great news to me is that I have been observing Jane over time. I saw her engagement in the community. I saw her commitment to hard work and dedication, her desire to make life better for people. I saw her commitment to our party. I saw her dedication to our campaigns, whether that was election campaigns or a leadership campaign. I observed her as she engaged with people. And you know, there are some politicians who, when you shake their hand, they look right through you, or they're looking for the next person to shake hands with. Jane isn't like that. When you meet Jane, she looks you in the eyes and you're the most important person. And that's what Jane is and who Jane is, and that's the kind of person that I am so proud will carry on in Newmarket, Aurora, and I believe in the province, and I believe that she will have a tremendous career as a lawmaker and as someone who is going to make a difference in people's lives in our community. And so, folks, I'm going to scrap the rest of my 35-minute speech. And with great pride, I introduce Jane Twinney, our PC candidate and the next MPP.
Thank you, Frank. It's going to be a hard act to follow. Let me just this is in my way, sorry. Thank you, Frank, Diane, and Mike, for those wonderful words. I am truly humbled and grateful for your support. And you don't know how much it means to me to have the three of you here tonight, bringing the motions forward and your kind words. Frank, you've done an amazing job representing us for the last 18 years. Your professionalism, civility, and empathy, and genuine concern for your constituents is admirable, and we thank you for your dedication. I know I have big shoes to fill, and I promise that I will not disappoint you, nor the residents of Newmarket and Aurora. With my nomination tonight, I have made a commitment to carry on that legacy and continue to get things done for the people of Newmarket and Aurora. I also want to thank all of my friends and supporters who have come out tonight and who have helped me with my nomination campaign. A big shout out to Angela Vey, my nomination campaign manager, and now an integral part of my campaign team to be your next MPP. Angela has spent countless hours of her personal time working on this nomination. Friends like Rob Shearer and Rich Wyman, who battled out to drum up the most new members, and my new friend, Bob Quapis, who was a key supporter of my nomination campaign. Bob met with residents and neighbors to support me and sign up new memberships. Marty Murray, Paul McKee, Dominic Procilo, Chris Nielsen, and Larry Blight for all your support and help the past few weeks. I also have a youth chair that came on board of my nomination committee, and she wasn't here tonight. She's unable to make it, but Kenzie Nielsen, I want to just shout out to her. Kylie Ann Dorner, Jackie King, Joanne Padley, that are both here tonight, for helping out with my nomination kickoff party. And also Tom Hampton and Mark from Joya for hosting an event at Joya a couple of weeks ago. It was a hit with everyone, so thank you. I also want to thank my colleagues, some of my colleagues who are here that supported me and are here tonight. Tom Hempen and Regional Councillor John Taylor. They believed in me and have supported my bid to become your next MPP. Also, Angela's husband, Tom, who is unable to make it here tonight, but has been a huge supporter and has sent his best wishes. I'm also excited to announce my new campaign manager, Stephen Dasco, who can't wait to get the campaign going. Stephen. I would not be remiss not to thank my biggest supporters, my husband, Joe, and my son, Michael, who's out the back with all his buddies. They truly know what it takes to get to this point and have always been behind me 100%. My mother-in-law, Thelma, for always making sure there was a supply of food in our freezer for those many busy nights and days, especially during the nomination, but also during my late nights at council. I also want to thank my parents who are not here tonight, Barbara and Norman. They're still in Florida, lucky them. But they're all ready to get to go and help me when the general election is called, and they can't wait. They have always believed I can do whatever I put my mind to. They always know how competitive I've always been, and they know I will fight to win. My experience as an elected official at the municipal level has been invaluable as I transition into my new role as a provincial candidate. I have a good understanding of how government works and how policies and legislation impact those living in Newmarket and Aurora. Of course, there'll be things to learn at Queen's Park, but the foundation has been laid locally, and I promise to continue the representation that Newmarket and Aurora residents are used to and they deserve. My record at the municipal level espouses my conservative values. I have voted against budgets when taxes were not kept under specified target amounts set by council. That included voting against a tax levy that I didn't feel had the opportunity to go through proper public consultation. And it is of no secret of my public view on not supporting projects that have gone massively over budget, such as the Old Town Hall. Being accountable and transparent to constituents is of the utmost importance to me. In 2011, when a story was written on politicians who hide expenses account spending, I was applauded for being an exception for posting my expenses online. Proper public consultation is imperative when deciding on issues that affect your lives. We are spending your tax dollars, and it is imperative that you have the opportunity to be heard. As a municipally elected representative, I hold regular ward meetings to provide constituents with a forum to openly discuss topics and affect their lives. And like Diane said, they become quite a social event, and we really enjoy them. It is my intention to provide the same opportunities at a provincial level. I have successfully worked with many organizations and levels of government to find solutions, and I intend to do the same at the provincial level, no matter how big or small the issue may be. The most important accomplishments for me are the ones that make a difference in the day-to-day lives of my residents. When I was campaigning, I heard over and over from residents on the frustration they felt with regards to an intersection beside a schoolyard. They felt that there should be a three-way stop and proper pedestrian crossings, and I couldn't agree with them more. Although it did take some time to get this rectified, and as it didn't meet traffic numbers, as staff had told me, it was finally completed last fall. And with the support of my colleagues, I was able to pass a motion to install a three-way stop with proper crossings for the safety of the children in the neighborhood. On a larger scale, and one that fits into our leader's vision, the Million Jobs Plan, to secure jobs for Ontario, is my work with a local manufacturer, TS Tech, in Newmarket. It's in my ward as well. I have met with them over the years as they struggled as a result of the devastating tsunami in Japan when production and shifts were drastically reduced, to just recently when their head office was actually thinking of moving perhaps out of the country due to an expansion. And through some meetings with them, they decided to stay in Newmarket. This is a great success story for TS Tech and for Newmarket, to have them stay, add an additional 100 jobs, and then 2 weeks ago, I was at a groundbreaking ceremony where they're going to be expanding their facility. In terms of my transition to provincial politics, I have met with seniors and individuals representing COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, who are facing cutbacks to services in our community. And this past Saturday, I sat on a panel with our MPP, Frank Cleese, with respect to the alternative community living centers. Seniors and people with disabilities who are now facing cutbacks from our Liberal government. Their stories are heart-wrenching, and it is very upsetting to see the most vulnerable are the ones who are facing the cutbacks first. When billions of dollars can be wasted through scandals such as Orange, eHealth, and the cancellation of the gas plants, and now it is the seniors who are asked to pay for this through cuts. I believe in the Ontario PC platform, and it is the only party that can get Ontario back on track. My Ontario is the one that will have well-paying skilled jobs and will help our students train for those jobs. And my Ontario will ensure our most vulnerable don't pay the price for the mismanagement of the Liberal government. I am excited to be part of the Ontario PC Party, and I will work hard to ensure our riding will stay blue, and the PC Party and Tim Hudak get the chance to show Ontario that we are the right choice for our province. I am truly honored and humbled to represent this great riding of Newmarket Aurora as the Ontario PC candidate in the next general election. And lastly, I want to thank all the supporters. You can be assured that I am going to work hard to win the next general election, but I cannot do that alone. I need your help. I need you to join Team Twinney, and we need volunteers like you to come out, help us with being poll captains, take a sign, donate, make phone calls, or canvass door to door. Whatever small amount or large amount you can provide with us, it'll all be greatly appreciated. And I know, working together, we will be successful. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody to come out here tonight. It means so, so very much. And I look forward to our journey ahead. Thank you.
Tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
In any event, I want to introduce, because this is such an important evening, I want to introduce and appreciate the fact that the president of the PC Party of Ontario is here this evening to honor Jane's nomination. I ask you to welcome Richard Chano.
Congratulating Jane for overcoming the first terrifying challenge I'm sure she's had to face, and that is taking the microphone and the podium and speaking after the great orator that is Frank Cleese. Because I tell you, even being a couple spots down, it's a fairly terrifying challenge. And look, I want to start by thanking you, the members of the Ontario PC Party in Newmarket and Aurora, not just for sending an MPP, an Ontario PC MPP to Queen's Park, but for sending a titan like Frank Cleese to Queen's Park on behalf of your association. And next, I want to tell you that, folks, it's really important that we get ready for an election right now, and you really do need to get on board Team Twinney right away. We're heading to an election, there's almost no doubt about it. You can see, again, as Bob mentioned, I travel around the province to these nominations. I was in Kitchener today at lunch, giving remarks at something, and I can just get the sense that the Liberals are ramping up to an election. They've started the advertising, they're starting the feel-good announcements, putting Go Bus service back into places where they cut it a year ago or two. And so the usual games that they play on the eve of an election are getting played. So it's really crucial that we start to organize right now. As Frank will tell you, Newmarket, Aurora, there's barely such thing as a safe seat in Ontario anymore, but certainly we don't consider Newmarket, Aurora a safe seat. We don't take it for granted. We're going to have to fight very hard to win, and as everyone has pointed out, we've got big shoes. Jane's got huge shoes to fill in Frank Cleese, and so we've got to do everything we can to support her, to help her be the next MVP and to be successful here in Newmarket, Aurora. So at the risk of already when I show up at meetings, I get, when they see the name tag, you're Richard Chano, you're the guy who sends the emails asking for money all the time. Okay, I'm going to say, please tonight, before you leave this evening, please make sure you see Bob, you see the folks in the association, you sign up to help Jane, you sign up to contribute, consider a contribution to the association. The first $400 you give, you get basically $300 back. It's a huge tax credit because we're going to need every penny to run a successful campaign here. And again, I want to thank Frank, really from the bottom of my heart, Frank, for everything you've done for our party, for Newmarket and Aurora, and for the people of Ontario in the past 20 years. And thank you, Jane, for taking on this enormous challenge. And thank you to your family as well. Thank you.
People have already stolen what I was going to say, but I think I can find something to say. I have a letter I would like to read. I got this last night in my home. It was delivered. I want to read this. It's from Lois Brown, our MP in Newmarket, Aurora. I would like to extend my sincerest congratulations to Jane Twinney on becoming Ontario PC candidate for Newmarket, Aurora. Jane is an excellent candidate with the experience support and determination to lead us to victory in the next Ontario election. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank MPP Frank Cleese for the incredible work he has done for our community, our province, and our country. He leaves big shoes to fill. However, I know that Jane will continue to carry the torch with the same commitment and professionalism. I'm delighted to extend my full support to Jane and to the Newmarket Aurora Progressive Conservative Association. I encourage all Conservatives to rally behind Jane Twinney and her team so together that we can keep Newmarket Aurora blue. So this is from Lois, Jane Twinney. Will, give me time. I'm doing it now. And this is basically the team that worked with Jane as she got things started when this started. But her husband doing all the work. No? Steve Dasco is Frank's executive assistant in Queen's Park. And he wants to become the campaign manager, and he got the job. And Angela is Jane's right hand.
That's right.
Does all the...
It's been helping me through my nomination.
Yes, she has.
Couldn't have done it
So
without
thank you. And to Frank, thank you. You're always a powerhouse around us. Well, it's kind of sad to see Frank go. We're very lucky that we have someone we can get behind. There's an excitement in Newmarket and Aurora. I want everybody here to understand we need every one of you. We have volunteer lists out there. I'll say what Richard said. We need volunteers and money. And I was in the insurance business for years, so I don't have a problem asking for money. And it takes more than one no, because I'll keep after, but we need money. So again, I thank everybody who came out tonight. This is the strength of Newmarket Aurora. We're going to have a great team together, and we look forward to bringing Jane to the top to Queen's Park. There's a reception to follow. Thank you again for coming out, and on behalf of the team, we look forward to a great teamwork ahead of us. So thank you.